Right, we're back on a bank. You join me back in Oxford. I'm back up on the Embryo Syndicate in Abingdon, and I'm here for 24 hours now. If you've been following how I've been getting on up here, you will know that I've not been doing well. I've actually caught absolutely nothing so far. It's been a big fat blank. I'm about 4 sessions deep and really struggling. Now my time's a bit limited coming up here at the moment, but when I do get the chance, I'm trying to get up here and put a bit of time in. So I've got 24 hours ahead of me. Hopefully it's going to be enough time to get a bite this time. But I'm going to do a lap of the lake. As always, location's key, so I'm going to have a walk around, see if I can see any fish showing, see if there's anything to go off of. There looks like there's one bloke already set up fishing. It's about 11:15, maybe 11 o'clock now, so he's probably been fishing since 10 o'clock, which is the start of the ticket for the midweek guys. So I've just spoke to a couple of guys as well that are from Embryo, and it looks like they're doing a bit of weed clearing. So they did say they're only going swims that are away from where we're looking at being, so hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. To be fair, it might stir it up a little bit and actually get the fish rooting around in those swims. But anyway, I'm gonna have a look around, see if I can find any fish, and let's see if we can actually put a fish in the net. Well, I'm just on the point, and this is how low the water is. Look at that. Very, very low. Really could do with rain. It's normally up to the bottom of that staging or thereabouts. Very, very low. And only comes up to this sort of step here. I reckon it's down probably 2 foot, 18 inches, maybe 2 foot. But it's recently dropped. You can see the tide line on the pole where it's recently dropped. So yeah, lost a lot of water. In terms of fish though, there's been 2 shows along here, which is similar to one of the last sessions I did. They were showing along there, but nothing was happening. And there's another member up in the big log along here, and there's been fish showing short range. But if you look along, I don't know where you can see, but you can actually see how exposed the bank is up under the trees. It's just so low. We desperately need some rain. Anyway, I will continue my walk around and see if we can see anything else, but at the moment it's not been a huge amount. Right, well, you join me in between. I've pretty much done a lap of the lake now. I've been sat here for a bit, not really seen a huge amount show. I've seen one show out in the middle, so there's definitely a few fish about, but to be honest, I've seen the odd fish show here and there in most swims, but not of any sort of real numbers. There's not sort of any huge mat fish showing in any particular zone. So at the moment, location wise, it's a little bit hard to decide what to do, but it's been like that quite a bit the past few sessions. I think that's why I've not picked up anything. The fish seem very spread out, and the weather's been very hot, so obviously it's been quite tricky, but it's looking very good today. So there's definitely a good chance of having a bite, I think. And going off of the weekend, there's definitely a few fish coming out, so they seem to be coming out all over the lake. So I think in a way, I don't think it matters too much where I go. It's just a case of where I feel confident and where I'm happy to sort of get some rods out and put a bit of bait in and sort of see if it happens. So at the moment, this does look good. I also found a pound on the floor, which is quite a good omen, you know, sort of a good indication. If you're that superstition, I don't know, but I'm not actually superstitious at all, but still sort of feels like it might be a bit of an omen. But anyway, I'm going to continue. I've got a couple more swims to look in, so I'm going to continue up to the van, and hopefully by the point of getting back to the van and getting the kit out, I would have decided what I'm going to do. But I do think this one looks worth having a go. So anyway, let's get on the move and see if we can find anything. Okay, if you go too far left, it gets weedy. Right, so it needs to be bang on that dip. Yeah, bang in the dip. Right. Okay, so after a walk around I decided to get into the in-between. Now I'm just getting everything sorted now. I've actually had a good lead around and found a spot already, so I'm pretty confident with what I found. It's a lovely little soft spot surrounded by a bit of weed. It's actually like a bank of weed and I'm fishing just past that, or sort of up to the back of it, maybe about half a rod length behind it, and it's a lovely sort of soft area. It looks really, really good for a bite. The wind's coming from right to left, so I'm feeling quite confident that the fish might be out in that zone. I've seen the odd one show out there, so yeah, location's key, and I've seen a few fish show out there, but they generally seem to be sort of dotted around the lake, to be honest. So I think there's potentially a chance from any area. It's just having that confidence, and this swim's done me a lot of fish in the past. It's a really confident sort of swim for me, and that's why I've dropped in here. So I've seen fish, it's a confident area. That is a great combination for me. So anyway, I'm gonna sort the rods out, get everything set up, and I'm going to sling them all out onto the spot. Then I'm going to mix up a little bit of bait, let that soak, and then I'm going to get all the home and everything set up. And as I've got that set up, hopefully that bait should be ready and primed to go out onto the spot then. So we will be fishing over a bit of bait. So let's get it all done, and hopefully it'll result in a capture of a fish, because I really do want one out of here and not a blank. What the f***? Oh my god. Oh my. Are you serious? What in the holy f*** is going on here? You can. Unbelievable. Right then, so we are properly fishing now. We've got some bait out over the top of the rods. I fished just 3 snowmen on their own for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just to see if I get a bite off of the spot, just as a hook bait, but it's not happened. So as I was getting the home and everything sorted out and set up, I mixed up a little bit of bait and let it soak. So I'd already got some boilies soaking for about 24 hours in some liquids and some water just to soften them up a bit. I'm using a DNA bug, a little bit of the S7 as well, and then I've just put some of the DNA food liquid in with it, and I put some boiling water in with them, just covered over the bait just so it soaked it all up. And it really sort of soaks in that liquid and makes them a lot more attractive. They soften up as well, and I just think they're more attractive to the fish. I'm using some whole bait, some crush baits, some sort of chopped up little bits and stuff, but yeah, mostly boilie. And then while I was getting sorted out, I've just added a bit of pellet into that. Now you don't want to leave that, you don't want to put pellet in prior to your session, because it's obviously going to just break down. So I chucked it in there, left it for sort of half an hour while I was getting sorted, and I also put a tin of corn in there as well. And then I've just sent that out onto the spot. I put about, I don't know, 15 spods, reasonable amount for like a 24-hour start of a 24-hour session. So the fish seem to be getting caught on bait from what the catch report looks like in the hut. So I decided to go in with bait. I've done really well on over bait before, and I think the weather conditions have changed now that the fish should be looking at getting their heads down a bit more and having a bit of munch. So fingers crossed it pays off. Now I have actually seen a bit of a flat spot come up over the area already, and the bait's only been out there about half an hour, so that's a nice sign. There might be the odd fish visiting it already, but over the top of that I'm just fishing 3 snowman rigs. The bottom bait is a 16mm bug cured bait, so cured in salt, and then the toppers are, one's a bug food bait, one's a white one, and one's a pink one, all in the bug flavour, so it matches the freebies. The reason for that is one's obviously a food bait, so it looks like the rest of the bait on the bottom, and then you've got 2 with a little bit more of a visual attraction that might sort of pull the fish down onto them and get you that quicker bite when they come onto the spot. And that is basically what I'm doing. So hopefully it ends up paying off, and we'll have a fish, but I'm feeling confident. It looks really good for it. We've had a little bit of rain as well, which is nice. It desperately needs some rain, so I'm hoping the fish switch on and we can have one. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right then, I need a bit of help. I want to ask you guys for some advice. So I've been using the X-Bod Competition, I believe it is. This little bad boy here. So I've been having a few issues with it. So far, there's some really good things about it. Flies like a bullet, really easy to load. But I've been having a big issue with the retrieve. Now, I don't know if I've got a faulty one and it's just not working as it should do. But basically, when I first bought it, I was having issues with it opening, so I ended up not using it for quite a long time. So I was casting it out and it wasn't even opening on the cast, and I was like, what, why is it, how are you even meant to use this thing? It doesn't seem to work. Am I casting it wrong? Is it not dropping down when it hits the clip properly? Anyway, it wasn't opening. After watching the video, I found out you're supposed to bend out all the full sections to loosen it all up before you first use it. And actually, since doing that, it's worked absolutely fine. Now my problem is when I cast it out, hits the surface, opens up, lets all the bait out, I bring it in, it closes, and then it's reeling it like reeling in a sack of potatoes. So, is there something you're supposed to do to stop it from closing on the retrieve? Now obviously they've got a spring in them. The spring's designed to obviously pop open, and I would imagine keep it open. So I don't know whether I've just got a faulty one and the spring isn't strong enough and it's not holding it open on the retrieve, because basically every time it closes, and it is literally like bringing in a sack of potatoes. So it'd be interesting to know what you guys think. Do any of you use it? Have you had the same issue? Is there anything I can do to try and rectify that problem? It would be really handy to know, because it's a great bit of kit at getting out there, and it's very accurate, flies like a bullet, but it is an absolute pain to reel in. So let me know in the comments below, have you got any pointers? If anyone else had that issue, it would be very good to know. Well, morning then. Normally I'd be doing a coffee update now, but I've already had a couple and I've actually been sat just in the shade on my chair over to the side of the swim, drinking a nice cool can of Monster because the sun's been out a bit this morning and it's been feeling pretty warm, but it's clouded over a little bit now, gone a bit overcast like it's supposed to, so it's dropped that temperature a little bit and made it much more comfortable. So I didn't update you last night for the evening, mainly because there was nothing to really tell you, nothing that happened. I didn't really have any more input, so I thought, what's the point in doing an update? I'm just going to be repeating myself. So I packed all the camera kit away for the night. During the night it went flat calm. There was a couple of fish showing, not too much, but the odd one was knocking its head out here and there. I got into the bag about midnight, managed to have a decent sleep to be fair, and then I actually got woken up by an indication on the left hand rod about 7:30 this morning. Went out to the rod, nothing was going on, it seemed to have stopped, and I think I basically just had a really big liner. Bit of a shame, it really got my spirits up. As you can imagine, the adrenaline was going. I was thinking, yes, here we go, and by the time I managed to get the shoes on and through the door, it stopped and nothing was happening. I think it was just a really big liner essentially. So it was nice to have a bit of indication, nice to feel like something was happening, but unfortunately it hasn't happened. So there's been a few fish showing this morning out towards the zone. There's actually been a couple of tench rolling really close in. I thought it was carp at first, but it's not, it is tench. But it's been carp showing out towards the zone, so I think there's every chance it could just go off out the blue at any time. So I'm going to sit here, finish off my tin of Monster, watch the world go by, and hopefully we'll have a fish to show at some point before I have to go to work. Nothing's happening, so I've just seen a couple of fish rolling close, so I'm going to bring in this left hand rod, put a fresh bait on it, just flick it out long, wind it back and just drop it down softly about 30 yards out, just as a single, and just see if I can get a quick bite on there. I've only got a couple of hours now. So before I put it back out, I just thought I'd show you the rig quick. So this is my go-to rig, pretty much everywhere at the moment we're fishing on the deck. So I've got a leg clip arrangement. This is one of the quarter hybrid leg clips. I've got that straight onto my 18-pound mono. I've then got a 3.5 ounce lead. I'm using a distance lead because I'm fishing at a reasonable distance and these cut through the wind. I've got a bit of a side wind, so they cut through the wind nicely. And then about 7 to 8 inches, maybe 7 inches or so of the tungsten loaded. I'm actually using a stiff version, extra stiff version, which really sort of helps kick it away. As you can see, it's still quite supple, easily lies over the bottom of any sort of debris and stuff. But yeah, it's just got a little bit more stiffness to it to kick it away. Then I've got my D section on the rig there, size 4 cryogen gripper, ESP cryogen gripper hook, and then I've got a double bait screw and then a little snowman. So I'm going to take the snowman off, put a fresh one on. As you can see, there's the bait screw, and it's very easy to be able to rebait the rod. So I dig out my hook baits, which are in my little EVA pouch. So I'm going to use one of the Bug Evo cured hook baits. So I'm using them in 16mm for the bottom bait. So these are quite hard. They're cured in salt, so they're absolutely rammed full of salt, and at certain times of the year the fish are hunting out salt, the minerals, and they are really attractive to the fish. They're very attractive all year round. I really like using these sort of baits, and they work really well for my snowmen. And then on top of that, I'm going to put a little pop-up. I'm trying to find a little pink one. I'm running a bit low, to be fair, so I've only got a couple left, and because they're the small ones, they've managed to find their way to the bottom of the pot, as they always do. But yeah, I've just got a mix of pop-ups in there, all different DNA ones, soaked in the little DNA booster liquid. And so this one then just screws down onto the top of there. You just screw it down. Nice and firmly. And there you go, that's the little snowman hook bait. So cured bottom bait and an attractive pop-up, washed out pink in the bug flavour combo, and that's the job. So we'll get that out there, see if I can fish it short where I've seen a couple of fish show, and see if we can get a last minute bite before I have to shoot off to work. So let's get out in the pond and let's try and make something happen. Right, before I chuck it out, I do like to just test it quick. Yeah, lovely. Just to make sure it sits right, and it does. And all I'm going to do is just flick this one out without hopefully hitting a tree above me. And I just flick this one out to where I've seen the fish show. And I'm going to cast it long, like that. And then wind it back. And then let it drop. Although that felt quite weedy. Well, I've not brought any weed, I've not got hung up on any weed there, so that might be okay. So we would just, that bit of weed I've got there is off of the margin, so I've just lifted that out. So we just cast that again. And we just rest it there. It's gone down soft, it's not thudded down. But it doesn't feel chock-a-block with weed or anything like that, so I think it's going to be presenting okay. But we'll leave that there for a bit. Just an opportunist, basically. You know, sometimes if you see fish show and there's nothing happening, it does pay to just try something different and see if it will produce a bite. I know there was a guy on there the other day that cast with some showing fish, and actually had one of the big ones, one an upper 30 I believe it was. So it pays to have a go. That is ready. Right, as you can see, all the kit is packed down and I'm pretty much going to bring the rods in, and in true fashion I've been stood here watching the water just before I bring the rods in, and I've seen 4 fish head and shoulder over the top of the spot. I'm pretty sure some fish have moved in onto that area now, and I do think if I was staying longer I'd have a chance of having one, but I can't stay. I have to go to work. I've got no chance of not going in, so unfortunately I'm going to be going home with my tail between my legs again with another blank. But it's been nice being out on the bank. I've really enjoyed it again. The conditions looked really good yesterday. Today has not been so productive, I don't think, condition wise. It's been too warm. Pressure's a lot higher again, but it's still been nice being out on the bank. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. It's been a little bit of a shorter one this time really. I've not video too much, because not much has been happening and I don't want to just keep videoing stuff for the hell of it. So hopefully you do still like the videos at the moment on the Syndicate. I know I'm blanking quite a lot, but hopefully you still get something from watching them and they're still enjoyable. If you don't like them, then just let me know and I'll stop uploading blanks and wait till I catch something. But anyway, I've got a bit of time coming up in September because my missus is actually going to Australia for 3 weeks with the little one. I'm not able to go due to work commitments, so I'm actually going to have a bit of spare time. So on my days off, I'm going to be able to go out for hopefully sort of 2 to 3 nights at a time and do some proper fishing. So I'm going to come up here a couple of times and maybe try and go to a day ticket with Hugh as well. So yeah, there should be some good videos coming up hopefully, but I hope you like the video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and until next time, get out there, be lucky, and I'll see you in the next video.